Caitlin Clark didn't just dominate the 2025 WNBA season, she rewrote what we believed was possible as the Fever's playoff run gripped millions. Clark delivered plays that left analysts stunned and defenders questioning every life decision. These are 15 moments that nearly broke basketball itself. Number 15, the impossible angle assist versus the New York Liberty, June 15, 2025. Picture this: Clark skies for a contested rebound, lands, and before anyone can blink, her mind is already 3 steps ahead. What happens next defies geometry. She threads a laser-guided pass through a 6-inch closing gap, hitting her teammate perfectly in stride. Most guards wouldn't dare attempt that angle. It required instant calculation, flawless timing, and absolute touch. Clark had the audacity to believe it would work, and she executed it like she was passing salt at dinner. The Fever stunned the unbeaten Liberty 102-88, but that single play became the true turning point, the moment everyone realized the rules were different when number 22 had the ball. Number 14, full court vision versus the New York Liberty. Against that same undefeated Liberty squad, Clark orchestrated something that looked like basketball telepathy. Surrounded at half court by defenders circling like sharks, she delivered a State Farm assist of the game to Aaliyah Boston. The brilliance wasn't just the pass, it was everything before it: a subtle head fake to freeze one defender, a shoulder dip to shake the next, and then a full court dime released before Boston even finished her cut. Clark saw the future and threw the ball to it. 9 assists in another upset when defenders were left searching for answers in the film room. Just another Tuesday for CC. Number 13, the double steal clinic versus the Connecticut Sun. Against Connecticut, Clark transformed into a defensive disruptor, ripping off back-to-back steals that showcased her criminally underrated instincts. The Fever cruised to an 88-71 win. But those 2 sequences unlocked a new dimension of her game. On the first steal, she didn't chase the ball, she read the point guard's eyes, jumped the passing lane, and exploded forward before anyone sensed danger. On the second steal, she ripped it clean and instantly fed Kelsey Mitchell for free runway to the rim. The defensive footwork Clark showed is something most guards spend years trying to master. She absorbed contact, kept possession, and turned defense into offense like a veteran playmaker. The crowd erupted. The Sun burned a timeout. Clark just smiled. Number 12, the alley-oop illusion versus the Atlanta Dream. In a heartbreaking 91-90 loss to Atlanta, Clark unleashed a play that deserved a better ending. Late in the game, she tossed what looked like a lob until it kissed the net and fell straight through accidental. Watch the replay. The arc was too perfect, the backspin too intentional. Clark threw a pass with scoring precision, disguising her plan until the ball splashed and the defenders froze. Unsure whether to jump, contest, or intercept, she finished with 27 points, along with 11 assists, setting multiple franchise records in a losing effort. Sometimes genius doesn't need a victory lap to be remembered. Number 11, the needle-threading masterclass versus the Chicago Sky. The Fever obliterated Chicago 93-58, and Clark's 20-10-10 triple-double was statistical poetry. But 1 assist to Lexi Hull rose above the box score. Under full court pressure, Clark spotted a window that didn't actually exist. 3 defenders formed a human barricade. Hull was barely open. Physics said the pass was impossible. Clark threw it anyway, a bullet through a keyhole, landing in Hull's shooting pocket without breaking rhythm. Chicago's defense never recovered, neither did their confidence. Number 10, the step-back dagger versus the Atlanta Dream. Clark iced Atlanta in an 81-76 when capping it with a deep 3 that showcased her full offensive arsenal. But the real masterpiece wasn't the shot, it was the setup. Her step back created so much space. The defender practically needed a GPS to locate her. Again, the footwork was surgical. Plant, explode, separate. Then the release, high arc, perfect backspin, pure swish. She closed the night with 13.7 assists and 3 triples, while the defender she crossed was still searching for his ankles somewhere near the 3-point line. Number 9, the homecoming bomb versus Brazil's national team. In a 108-44 demolition of Brazil, Clark saved her most disrespectful shot for the very spot where she broke the NCAA scoring record. Late in the third, with the game already decided, she rose from 36 feet, a logo 3 heard. Around the world, the audacity alone was nearly a technical, the precision was surgical. The message was unmistakable: my floor, my rules. Brazil could only watch. The crowd exploded. Clark jogged back with that signature smirk that essentially said you expected anything less. Number 8, the season opener statement. Opening night national spotlight. First shot of the season, Clark let a casual 28-footer fly, instantly setting the tone for everything that followed. The mechanics were flawless feet set, knees loaded, release point higher than most defenders can even contest. But the swagger was pure Clark. She pulled up like it was a casual pickup run, drilled it without breaking stride, and jogged back with that smirk. In that moment, defenders understood one thing: this season was about to be a nightmare. Number 7, the icebreaker versus the Dallas Wings. Shooting slumps happen to everyone's superstars, and them with violence. Against Dallas, Clark shattered her cold spell with a deep three that ignited a 102-83 blowout. The shot came from well beyond the arc, and the relief was written all over her face as it splashed through. You could almost hear her whisper, finally. What followed was a masterclass: 13 assists, 5 steals, and total offensive control. Once Clark rediscovered her rhythm, Dallas never had a prayer. Number 6, the 38-second avalanche versus the New York Liberty. Fresh off injury, Clark unleashed the most explosive burst of basketball the WNBA has witnessed. Down 11 to New York, she went nuclear. 3 deep bombs from 33, 27, and 31 feet in just 38 seconds, not 38 minutes, 38 seconds. Each shot bent logic: the arc, the rotation, the audacity to keep firing. The Liberty burned timeouts. They adjusted coverages, switched defenders, trapped high. Nothing worked. Clark closed the night with 32 points, a career-tying 7 threes, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds in a 102-88 upset. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse crowd didn't just watch a run, they witnessed something biblical. Number 5, the bench stare down versus the Connecticut Sun. A Commissioner's Cup qualifier turned chaotic. Eye pokes, shoves near bench, clears playoff energy. In June, through the chaos, Clark dropped 20 and sealed an 88-71 victory with a dagger logo 3. Then came the moment. After the swish, she turned toward the Sun bench and unleashed a primal yell. No trash talk needed. The message was simply remove the Fever. Punch their ticket to the Commissioner's Cup final. Clark punched her ticket to icon status. Number 4, the Vision Showcase versus the Golden State Valkyries. Despite an 88-77 loss at Chase Center, Clark's passing clinic reminded everyone why she's averaging 8.7 assists per game, 9 dimes in defeat, each one a masterclass in vision and timing. But one pass stood above the rest. A precision strike that split Golden State's defense like it didn't exist, hitting her teammate in stride for an easy finish. Clark saw passing lanes that existed only in theory, threading needles with surgical precision. The Fever fell short, but Clark's ability to create for others never flickered. Even in defeat, her vision stays lethal. Number 3, the Traffic Navigator versus the Seattle Storm. Clark's evolution into a complete player was on full display against Seattle. No longer relying solely on the 3-ball, she absorbed contact, powered through physical defense, and still delivered precision dimes. This particular play through heavy traffic would have been a turnover for 99% of guards. Clark made it look routine: body control, balance, vision, composure in chaos. 9 assists, 0 panic, just elite basketball IQ at work. Number 2, the Mathematicians triple versus the Connecticut Sun. With a Commissioner's Cup final berth on the line, Clark pulled up from near half court with the calm of someone shooting a warm-up free throw. The mechanics required instant calculation: trajectory, arc, power, even resistance in the air. She calculated it all in a split second and buried it. Then, in perhaps the coldest moment of the season, she winked at the bench before the ball even dropped. She knew the Fever knew the Sun knew basketball sorcery wrapped in cold-blooded confidence. Number 1, the No-Look Symphony versus the Las Vegas Aces. Against the defending champions, Clark orchestrated the assist of the season, weaving through a maze of arms, bodies, and rotating defenders. She fired a no-look dime that hit Aaliyah Boston in perfect stride. The telepathy between Clark and Boston bordered on supernatural. The pass factored in 3 defenders' positions plus Boston's future movement, the kind of anticipation most NFL quarterbacks dream about. Boston finished with 26, nearly dragging Indiana back from an 89-81 deficit. Clark made genius look suspiciously effortless. Caitlin Clark's 2025 season wasn't just impressive, it was transformative. She redefined the point guard position, blending Curry's range, Magic's vision, and a fire that never cools. The Fever's playoff surge gave us moments fans will be quoting for years. These 15 plays, they barely scratched the surface of her impact. When history looks back, 2025 will be remembered as the year the game changed. will be remembered as the year Caitlin Clark didn't just play basketball, she reinvented it. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, share it with fellow hoopheads, and subscribe for more deep dive breakdowns into the plays that define greatness. The revolution is here, and Caitlin Clark is leading it.